Hello there, welcome to a short reflection for the 20th of November on Proverbs 20. I wonder how you're finding reading through Proverbs, wisdom for life, and if anything struck you about this particular chapter today. Verse 1, don't be led astray by wine or beer. That wouldn't be wise. Just a little reference there. It is to one's honour to avoid strife, but every fool is quick to quarrel. Verse 3, so seeking peace and seeking not to create quarrels and create strife is the work of wisdom. Verse 5 is one of those great wisdom proverbs. The purposes of a person's heart are deep waters. That's something deep within us, isn't it? The purposes, the motivations of our hearts. But one who has insight draws them out. That's a beautiful verse to reflect upon. Apart from the final verse, which mentions grey hairs again, I don't know whether that's good for you to know. Strength is the glory of the young. Grey hair is the splendour of the old. Verse 29, of course, it's a crown of wisdom in the book of Proverbs. The human spirit is the lamp of the Lord that sheds light on one's inmost being. Verse 27, the human spirit is the lamp of the Lord. And a person's steps are directed by the Lord. How can anyone understand their own way? Verse 24, reminding us of our need for direction and guidance. But the phrase that's been speaking to me appears twice in this chapter. Verse 10, differing weights and differing measures, the Lord detests them both. And verse 23, the Lord detests differing weights, dishonest scales do not please him. We maybe think of the scales of justice, or we maybe think of Jesus turning the tables in the temple courtyard because people are being diddled and fiddled with the money changing that's going on. Differing weights, differing measures. There's a lot of controversy at the moment about the fact that the World Cup is happening in Qatar because of its human rights and its particular laws against homosexuality and the way it treats certain people. But I'm reminded, and I think those are just causes to be aware of, that it is very easy for us to ignore the plank in our own eye whilst trying to draw attention to the speck in somebody else's eye. We measure different peoples by different standards if we're not careful. And I think this is part of perhaps the church's call to diversity, equality, inclusion, that we need to check within us whether we weigh and measure people differently depending on who they are, where they've come from, what they look like or sound like. Differing weights and differing measures, the Lord detests them both. The Lord detests differing weights. Dishonest scales do not please him. It's true to say God has no favourites. God's love is equal for everybody, and that should be the same for us. Ears that hear and eyes that see, the Lord has made them both, says verse 12. So this chapter is a challenge to me to keep on the righteous path, guided by the lamp of the Lord, honouring my grey hairs, seeking wisdom, and trying to make sure that I use the same weights and measures for every person, that I don't show discrimination, I don't show favour to one person or one group of people, but measure and weigh equally. I wonder what that means for us in our interactions with people day by day. There you go, a little bit about Proverbs 20, plenty of wisdom in there, and join me for Proverbs 21 soon. Take care, God bless you, bye for now.